Time now for our Rants and Raves. Once again, we're coming to you from the WGBH studio at the Boston Public Library. I'm going to start with you, Dan.
I have a rave for our friend John Keller, who did one of his commentaries on WBZ Radio this week about Jack Phillips, the Colorado baker, who was at the center of the Supreme Court case this week regarding his refusal to bake cakes for gay couples getting married. John just spent a few minutes on Google and found out that our friend Jack Phillips is really kind of a kook for all seasons. He won't bake anything for Halloween parties because it's satanic. He won't bake anything for bachelor's parties. I don't know what that's all about.
Or divorce parties. I've never heard of a divorce party.
Or divorce parties. I've never heard of a divorce party before.
Where are you people been?
But, I mean, I think the point that John was trying to make in his commentary is that, you know, we should have known more about this guy in the course of all of this reporting on his case before the Supreme Court, and it didn't take a lot of work on John's part. Not that he doesn't work hard.
That's because it was a liberal cause, and people really just glommed onto the one thing, and they didn't care about anything else.
No, I think push back a little bit. Kudos to John for digging that up, but what would it have mattered as we process the fundamental issue here?
So, you know what? I don't know how much it would have mattered, but it's additional context and things we should have known.
Well, no, here's one thing. The issue was that this was against his faith, right? So is it against your faith to have a divorce party?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. All of those things would align with faith.
Bachelor,
I mean, you could make the argument.
Bachelor party? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
so, okay.
Oh, I'm up.
You're up.
All right. I want to rave for Bill Littlefield of BUR and NPR, where his show Only a Game has been airing for quite a long time now. I didn't listen to this show regularly. He's about to retire. That's why I'm raving for him. I wasn't a regular listener. I was an occasional listener when I was driving around earlier on the weekend than I wanted to be. It always made those drives a little more pleasant than they would have been otherwise. I think he has a real knack for looking at sports and working with other people to look at sports in a sophisticated way against a sort of a cultural backdrop, figuring out how sports is informed by culture but also shapes culture. He took a really cerebral approach to a topic that often does not get it, and I will miss hearing his voice on the radio.
It was riveting. It was
nice guy, too.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. I think you've dealt with him more than me, but incredibly nice. So, good for him.
Callie.
I was struck by, and this is a rave for Farai Shadea's observation, which is, you know, kind of a sad observation. So in the wake of Kate Spade's death, there were many stories to try to explain it and add some color to it. Farai Shadeh started, by the way, she's at the Ford Foundation, longtime journalist, documentarian, whatever. She started a Twitter thread saying she was actually offended by the tone of some of this. She said the sense of belonging cues throughout the piece on Spade do not just talk about her life. It's more about the reader audience and setting up a sense of belonging that don't include readers like me. So she went on to refer to, for example, good girls got them for their bat mitzvahs. The bad girls swiped them. Here was another comment. There was a moment when you couldn't walk a block in New York without seeing one of her bags. And she went on to say, any block I was walking in New York, I didn't see people buying them, and if they could buy them, they would not have chosen to. They had other issues. And so she said, I'm not saying don't do the story about her. I'm saying, you know, think about the broad spectrum of who the audience is. It's not narrowly focused on just certain folks. It's for all of us to understand who she was, and in that context, it would have been a richer story.
I was really struck by that story. I had the exact same reaction, how effete it was.
And
never mind, over the top, overly colorful, and sort of out of context with the tragedy that it was like, I don't know. I was struck by it. All right, Dan.
Well, here's a new one. I have a rave in the wake of a rant. So, so the rave now is for Fox News for finally correcting the fact that they had posted this photo, as you see on the screen here, of the Eagles football players kneeling. They were actually kneeling in prayer when they were covering the story of the president disinviting them, I guess, from the meeting at the White House. They posted this photo. Now, we've all been in the business. We know how these things probably happen, where someone said, go find this photo, and it ends up on the air. But still, nonetheless, it was wrong. The players were on their knees praying as something they've done. That is not a team that has taken the knee. me, and they should have known better. So I was ranting when I saw the photo and how it was being covered by Fox News, and now I'm raving because they put out a statement. The executive producer over there, Christopher Wallace, said that they obviously made a mistake, and they said, quote, "We apologize for the error." And so Fox
I
News...
wonder how many Fox News viewers are going to catch that statement as opposed to the visual that was put out.
Yes, maybe two.
I'm sure they were very sorry they got caught.
All right, well, finally tonight, I have a rant for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, which has basically put its cartoonist kind of sidelined him because he does a lot of cartoons that are anti-Trump. He's more liberal. So the paper has been recently taken over by the Toledo Blade, and a new guy is at the helm of the editorial page, Burris, I think, Keith Burris. And this guy produces the cartoons every week, but they're not getting in the paper. So allegedly he's working on one right now that's supposed to run either Monday or Tuesday. We shall see if that happens. But it's really an outrage.